Hello everyone. In today's lesson we will cover patterns of square number. In the previous video we covered the properties of the square numbers, and today we will learn about the patterns of square number. So our first pattern is the sum of two consecutive triangular number is a square number. So I hope you already know the triangular number that we already learned in class 6. But here I am giving you an overview. What do you mean by the triangular number? The number that can be arranged as triangle are known as triangular number. And the numbers like 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21 all are the triangular numbers. To find out the triangular number, the formula that we use is n plus 1 divided by 2. So for example, if we have n is equal to 1, so how it can be arranged? 1 times 1 plus 1 is 2 divided by 2. Then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So, and the another case, n is equal to 2. Then in that case, n is equal to 2. 2 times 3 divided by 2, it gives us 3. So, it means in first triangle, we will have 1 dot, and in the second, we have the 3 dots. Like, we can arrange this 1. Here, we can arrange like this 3. Then, similarly, if n is equal to 3, then it will come as 6. So, we can arrange this like so. This is the triangular pattern. Or the another method to represent is this. So, these are the triangular number that can be arranged as a triangle. If we want to form a triangle, we can form a triangle with this like that. So these are the triangular numbers. So now, according to this pattern, what we are saying, if we combine two consecutive triangles, then we will get a square number. How? If I arrange this pattern 1 and 3, so what I will get? I will get as 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 1 and this is the singular one. So what I will get? 4. Thus it will give me 2 square. Alright. The second is we are combining these two. This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. If I combine second and third, so what I will get? In this I have 3 dots and in this I have 6 dots. So how I will arrange that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what are the two triangles? These are the two triangles. And this is another one. Right? So when I combine these two triangles, what I get? The full square. So this is our pattern. Which means if we combine two consecutive triangles, we will get a square. So how can I represent it? 1 is equal to 1 square. If I am combining next two, 1 plus 3, it will give us 4. That will be 2 square. Next, if I combine 3 and 6, it will give us 9. That will be equal to 3 square, and so on. So the second pattern is there are 2 and non-perfect square number between two consecutive square number. So what do you mean by this? If we have two consecutive square number like 1 square and 2 square. So 1 square and 2 square, it will give us, it means we have n square and n plus 1 square. So here in this case n is equal to 1. So according to the pattern, how many non-perfect squares should be there? 2n. It means 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So if we see 1 square will give us 1, and 2 square will give us 4. And between these two, there are two numbers, 2 and 3. And both are non-perfect square numbers, means they are not the square of any number. Let's take another example. Like we have 2 square and 3 square. So in that case, n is 2. So how many non-perfect square should be there? 2n means 2 times 2. It means 4. So now let's take 2 square will give us 4 and 3 square will give us 9. So the numbers are between 4 and 9 are 5, 6, 7, 8. And all these numbers are non-perfect square and the number is 4. So what this property says, there are two and non-perfect square between two consecutive square number. So this is the table that we can figure it like we have the two consecutive number, 1 square, 2 square, 2 square and 3 square, that I already took. Here we can have 3 square, 4 square, 4 square, 5 square and so on. So the number of the non-perfect square we can derive by using the formula 2n. Like if we have n is 3, so the number of non-perfect square should be 6. These are the 6 non-perfect square between these two consecutive number. So to generalize this, what we can do, if we have n square and n plus 1 square, so the number of non-perfect square we can derive by using the formula 2n, and their number will be n square plus 1, n square plus 2 and so on. So the next property says, if we have a natural number in which all the digits are 1, then it will have the following pattern. Means 1 square is 1, then it is 11 square, then it is triple 1 square, then it is 4 times 1 square and 5 times 1 square. So what this pattern shows, they are symmetrical in their middle term, like 1, 1, 2, 1, then 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So if we write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are symmetrical on both sides, like 1, 2, 3 over here and 1, 2, 3 in the left side and 3, 2, 1 on the right hand side. So this, the sum of digit of every number on the right hand side is a perfect square. It means we have 1, 2, 1 over here. If we add 1 plus 2 plus 1, then it will give us 4. That is give a perfect square. Again, if I add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, what it will give me? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then again it is a 3 square. So the sum of all the digits of the square again give us a perfect square. Just remember this thing, if all the digits are 1 in any natural number, it will give us a pattern that is symmetrical around its middle term. Next, we will learn Pythagorean triplets. This is a very important term in this chapter, Pythagorean triplet. So according to this theorem, what we have, if we have three natural number m, n, p, they are said to be Pythagorean triplets if and only if m square plus n square is equal to p square. For example, if we have 3, 4, 5, they are Pythagorean triplets only if 3 square plus 4 square will equal 5 square. And this is true in that case, as 3 square will give us 9, 4 square will be 16 and 5 square will be 25. And if we have 16 plus 9, it will give us 25. So it means 3, 4 and 5 are the Pythagorean triplets. If we have asked a question like prove that they are the Pythagorean triplet or not, we have to use this formula. M square plus n square is equal to p square. Another pair if we have like 5, 12 and 13, and these are not the consecutive. It can be any number, but m square plus n square should be p square. So in that case 5 square plus 12 square should be equal to 13 square to be the Pythagorean triplets. So 5 square is 25, 12 square is 144 and 13 square is 169, and if we add 25 and 144 it will give us 169 only. So it means these are the Pythagorean triplets. And in general, for any natural number, if we have m greater than 1, then in that case 2m whole square plus m square minus 1 whole square is equal to m square plus 1 square. So in that case 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1 form a Pythagorean triplets. So to figure out what are the number that can be Pythagorean triplet, we can use this formula. And the next thing is, if we have to find out the square of a large number, so what we can do? If we have number like 308, so instead of multiplying 308 two times, what we can use? We can use the formula a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square. Means we have to split 308 such that one term we have in tens or hundreds. Like we can split 308 as 300 plus 8. So we can use the formula a plus b whole square. It means what it will give we already know. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. As we all know, to finding out the square of a number that ends with 0 is much easier than finding the square of a number like 308, 309 and all. So here what we can do, a plus b whole square, it is 300 square plus 8 square plus 2 times 300 times 8. So 300 square will give us 4 times 0 plus 64 and it will give us 4800. Now we will add all these numbers. It will give us 94864. So it is much easier than multiplying 308 two times. Similarly, if we have a number something like 495, so we can, instead of writing 400 plus 95, it is much easier to write it like 500 minus 5. So in that case, we can use the formula a minus b whole square. So depending upon the patterns that we learn today, we will take some example so that we have more understanding of all the patterns that we learned till yet. So the first example is, write a Pythagoras triplet whose smallest number is, in first case we have 6, in the second we have 14 and in the third one we have 20. So we already know whatever the numbers that can form the Pythagoras triplet that we learn is 2m square, m square minus 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1. So what we will do, so what will be the three numbers that can form the Pythagorean triplet are, so in that case the smallest number is 2m and they have given the smallest number is 6. So from here we can find out the value of m. So in that case m will come out as 6 divided by 2, it will be 3. So it means m square will be 9. So the another two numbers will be like m square minus 1. It will give us 9 minus 1 is 8, and the third number is m square plus 1, that is 9 plus 1, that is equal to 10. So the three numbers that we have are 6, 8 and 10 because they are 2m, m square minus 1 and m square plus 1. The second, we have the smallest number as 14. It means we have 2m equals to 14. So here m is equal to 14 divided by 2, we will get 7. So another two numbers will be m square minus 1, and here m square we will calculate as 49, 7 square. M square minus 1 will be 49 minus 1, that will be 48, and m square plus 1, that will be 49 plus 1 is 50. So the Pythagorean triplets are 14, 48 and 50. Right? The third one we have 20. So in that case, the smallest one is 20. So it means 2m is 20. M will come out as 20 divided by 2 as 10. And the another two numbers will be here. M square will be 100. Then m square minus 1 will be 99. And m square plus 1 will be 101. So clearly the three numbers are 20, 99 and 101. The next question we have to evaluate. The first one we have 38 square minus 37 square. So in my previous video, we learned a property like n plus 1 whole square minus n square is equal to 2n plus 1, that we discussed in my previous video. For this you can check the link in my description section. So here clearly n is equal to 37. So instead of calculating 38 square, 37 square and then subtract, we can use 2n plus 1. That will be much easier. So here it will come as 2 times 37 plus 1. So 2 times 37 is 74 plus 1, that will give 75. So by using the formula, the calculation become much easier. Next, if we have like 218 square minus 217 square. So here also we will use the same formula like 2n plus 1. Here n is equal to 217. So 2 times 217 plus 1. So 217 times 2 will give 434 plus 1, that will give 435. So this is the way how we use our properties that we already discussed. Now next question we have to use the formula a minus b whole square, that is a square minus 2ab plus b square. We have to find out the value of 689. So first of all we will figure it out how can we split 689 so that we have zeros at the end of one number. So clearly if we write it like 700 minus 11, we have to find out the square of this. So it will give us 689. So it will become a minus b whole square. So what we will do now? 700 square minus 2 times 700 times 11 plus 11 square. So now 700 square will come out as 49, and at the end we will have 4 zeros. Then 11 square will give us 121, and this one will give us 2 times 11 is 22, 22 times 7 is 154 and 2 zeros at the end. Now we will calculate this. So we will get 47472 So by using the formulas, you can see our calculation become much easier. Now next we have, similarly we saw an example by using the formula a plus b whole square. Next we have to evaluate the value of 88 and 92 times. So here we have two even numbers. The product of these two numbers we have to find it out. So the simple method is we can multiply, but in that case what we will do, first of all we will split it, like 92 can be split as 90 plus 2 and 88 can be split as 90 minus 2. So you remember the formula, a square minus b square is equal to a plus b and a minus b. So in that case what will become 90 square minus 2 square. So 90 square will give 8100 minus 4 and that will give 8096. So in today's videos we cover some of the patterns that we use in the square numbers, and that is followed by the some of the example how we can use these properties and patterns to solve our questions. And if you are not getting anything, if you have any particular question, you can write down to my comment sections. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my videos. Till then, thank you.